Did you ever wish you had someone to tell you the truth about what it takes to run a successful business and live a fulfilling life? Well, my friend, you've come to the right place. So grab your favorite caffeinated jolt or cocktail and your courage and get ready to get to work. I'm Janessa Borges, a therapist, mindset coach for entrepreneurs, and a feisty Latina from Miami. I've been referred to as a trailblazing powerhouse with relentless energy and outside-the-box ideas. And I'm determined to teach you the exact tools you need to stop settling and start kicking some serious derriere. What do you say? Are you in? Then let's get started. Welcome to the Success Mindset for Entrepreneurs podcast. So, an incredible wise woman many, many years ago, approximately 35, once told me, "Es mejor estar sola que mal acompañada," which means it's better to be alone than in bad company. That incredibly wise woman was my grandmother. She definitely lived an extraordinary life, had an incredible journey, and of all the things that she's taught me, including make sure to always put a little bit of powder on your face. You never know when you're going to run into your future husband at the hospital or if you have an emergency. Yes, these are the things that she would tell me. This one stood out the most to me, and I can't remember exactly when it was, but I remember I was really young. I must have been 8, and I want to say we were at her dining room table, and I don't even think she made eye contact with me, but she was very stern, so I can hear it in her voice, and she was dead serious, and she said those words, "It's better to be alone than in bad company." And at the moment, I thought she was ridiculous, of course. I didn't know what she was talking about. At that point, it may have been something about some friends, school friends, and it just didn't make sense. And let me tell you how many times throughout my life since then, especially recently, working with couples, working with individuals that settle in their life, working with entrepreneurs, that I keep hearing her words over and over again in my head. It's better to be alone than in bad company. Today, I want to focus on the fact that could it be possible that you're having bad sex and don't know it? Bad business sex, that is. And let me explain what I mean by that. What I mean by this is either could you be in a partnership with somebody or working with somebody, even if it's somebody that you've hired, a virtual assistant, your graphic designer, the website company, so many different things, the platform you schedule with, your billing system, the way you market, your website design, your wording, your language, however you're operating. Could it be that you are doing things that you're not even aware of are not in your favor? So I wanted to use this metaphor of mine, and I wanted to go through 10 possible reasons why people are having bad business sex and they don't even know it. So I'm going to use the metaphor and go through 10 different reasons that I have thought of, and I'm going to dive deep into each one. The first reason somebody's having bad sex and they don't even know it would be denial. I'm having great sex. Sex is great. Problem number 1. Problem number 2, they don't even know it's bad sex. They think it's good. So the first step is denial, knowing that it's not good, but saying otherwise to themselves or to others. Number 2 is not even knowing that it's bad sex, not even knowing that things aren't going well. The third reason could be that they are thinking, it could be worse. It could be worse than this. So the thought process that it's not great, but it could be worse. The fourth reason is, it's okay. I'm content. It's all right. The settling concept. Number 5 is, it's better than others. So the concept that they've had worse. So not that it could be worse, but that they have experienced worse. 6th option is, I'm too scared to admit it. I know there's something wrong, but I'm just too scared to even think about the fact that I may not be having good sex. The seventh reason is I don't know how to make it better. So the sense of knowing things aren't going well, but not knowing what steps to take to improve it. The eighth reason is I'm used to it. It is what it is. The ninth reason is, isn't this how it's supposed to be? So this is a mix between denial and not knowing any better. Isn't this just the way it's supposed to be? And last but not least is I live off of makeup sex. We've been together so long it doesn't even matter. These two I put together. And now I want to go through one by one explaining how this and these topics and this metaphor applies to your business. The first one is denial. Having a feeling you're not having great sex, having that sensation, but not really admitting it to yourself. As it applies to your business, the problem is here. Your business is not doing well, but you're in denial. How does that serve you? I need you to really think about if my business is not doing well and I don't want to admit it because of pride, because of judgment, because of guilt of the time you've spent and the money you've invested. Not allowing yourself to see that things are not going well is not serving you or your business. So let's leave denial behind us, okay? Number 2 is don't even know it is bad sex. So the first one is denial. It can seem a little confusing. The first one, denial, is knowing that it's not good, but being in denial. The second one is not even knowing it's bad. So it's having a business that you think is going well, that you think is up to par, that you think you've invested everything that you can emotionally or time-wise or insofar as the people working with you or for you or collaborations, and not even knowing that your business is not doing as well as it can be doing. And again, that does not set you up for success. Number 3, it could be worse. So thinking, my business isn't great, but it could be worse. Again, how does that serve you? If your business isn't doing great, but it could be worse, listen, almost anything in life could be worse. Worst piece of cake, worst piece of outfit, worst vacation, anything and everything could be worse. But just because things could be worse doesn't mean you should settle for where it's at now. So if this is you and your business, you definitely need to take an inventory about just because it's not worse doesn't mean it's good. Okay? Can we agree on that one? Number 4 is it's okay. I'm content. So the settling. I'm settling in my business. We've passed the denial. We know it's happening. We know it could be worse, but we're just kind of settling. It's all right. It's okay. I'm content. There's nothing worse than thinking and settling on anything. I am a huge anti-settling person. My husband may very well feel that I settle for nothing ever because I'm always wanting to perfect or explore or experience and try something new. I know I drive him crazy all the time. But the reality is, if I was settling in life, if I wasn't growing, if I wasn't changing, if I wasn't experimenting, if I wasn't learning, if I wasn't touching lives, I wouldn't feel fulfilled. So settling doesn't work for me. It's a foreign concept, but I hear about it all the time in my practice and when I work with entrepreneurs. So settling in your business, if you're settling, it's time to check out and do something different. Number 5 is it's better than others. So your business, it's better than others, right? Especially now, there's COVID, businesses are closing, businesses are filing for bankruptcy, major companies and organizations. So your business, it's doing better than others. Congratulations, it could still be better. Are you fulfilled with it? Is it doing what you hoped it would do? Is it where you want it to be? Just because your business is better than others doesn't mean that you shouldn't give it the love, attention, and nurturing that it deserves. Right? Number 6, I'm too scared to admit it. This I see a lot. A lot of the mindset work that I do with entrepreneurs is there's this underlying fear behind admitting, right? That goes back to number 1, denial, admitting that I don't want to admit that I'm not doing this right. I don't want to admit that my business is not doing well. I don't want to admit that this relationship in my business isn't working. I don't want to admit that this collaboration isn't going well. I don't want to admit that my business partner and I aren't agreeing. I don't want to admit that I'm losing more money than I'm making. By not wanting to admit it, it is almost more dangerous than denial because there's a sense of knowing. There's a sense of wanting to hide and not own the fact that you're not doing well. But the problem is, as with anything in life, if you don't own the fact that you are not doing well, if you don't own the fact that there are mistakes to be fixed, you're probably not going to change them. And that is not helping you. Number 7, I don't know how to make it better. Now, I can get behind this. I can get behind this because a lot of times entrepreneurs aren't sure how to fix it. They feel like they've taken all the courses, they've downloaded all the freebies, they've worked through all the content, they go back to the courses they've purchased, they go back again, they've tried all these different things, they've changed business partners, they've changed VAs, they've changed platforms, and they feel like they've tried it all and they just don't know how to make it better. And I will challenge you to say the fact that you're owning that you're not happy, that it's not doing well, that it could be better, that you are admitting it. If you don't know how to make it better, then we will find a way to make it better. We will do everything. We will explore, we will research, because I am such a believer that very rarely in life have we literally tried it all. I have an old supervisor that I refer back to every once in a while in my brain who always used to tell me, people always have options. They may not like their options, but they always have them. This comes up in my practice. It comes up in my coaching. It comes up with entrepreneurs overall. And not knowing how to make it better initially feels frustrating, but here's the beauty in this. The fact that you're trying to look for solutions means that you're working on it. So don't quit. You can feel exhausted. You can need a timeout. You can lean into other people, lean into other circles, work with whoever you have to, dig deeper internally, dig deeper outside of yourself. But I promise you, you will find a way to make it better if you continue to push through, if you continue to pivot and change. Number 8, I'm used to it. This is my business. It's the sense of being content, a little bit of settling. It's a little bit of combination. I'm just used to it. It is what it is. If every business settles with the thought of I'm used to it, it is what it is, this is just life, this is just my business, then you are losing out. Because I promise you that there is someone who is motivated, determined, energetic, creative, who is trying to find a better way to serve your clients, to provide a different service, to perfect that product. Just look at the car industry, right? There are so many, cars are not my main hub, but there are so many different car companies. And within each car company, there's different styles of cars. And then within the different cars, there's different models. And then the next year, the same company is coming up with an upgraded model of car. And it's not about trading in constantly in life, but just because you're used to something doesn't mean you can't make it better. Doesn't mean that you can't be more fulfilled. It doesn't mean that you're done. So just because you're used to the way that your business is running doesn't mean that it's running as smoothly and effectively and in the best way it can run to provide for your consumer or to fulfill you as its creator. Remember that. Number 9, isn't this how it's supposed to be? Again, we go back to like overlapping. This is a little bit of like denial and a little bit of settling and a little bit of content. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? I find it hard pressed that other than some typical roles in life, everything isn't how it's supposed to be. I don't believe in that either. I believe that things are how you make them. I believe in the power of, people say God gives you lemons, you make lemonade. But my whole thing is, I don't care what God gives me. I'll figure out how to make something good out of it. It's the fact that you can have the ingredients, but you need a working oven. You need the tools in order to succeed. So you know what? It isn't how it's supposed to be if you're not happy and you're not doing well. There's other ways to do things. And I believe that if you want to, you can find a way to see how your business is supposed to run when you want to give it everything you have, when you want more for it, when you don't settle. And last but not least is number 10. I live off of makeup sex. I live off of the highs in my business. We've been together so long. I've been in business so long. It doesn't really matter. I'm kind of good with it. I'm steady. So this is a little bit like being content in life. But what I do want to point out, and the reason that I left this last, is because I want you to think about this. Are you living for the moments in your business when it is doing well? Are you living in the moments for your business when you get that high-priced paying client? Are you living in the moments of your business when you get that one big sale? Because if you're just living off of makeup sex, if you're just living off of those highs in your business, then what happens to the rest of your journey? You're constantly waiting for the other high, but what are you doing for it? What if you can create your business to constantly and steadily give you what you need and that fulfillment and that connection, and still give you these extra highs? What if the highs weren't everything you were looking forward to? So somebody told me recently when I started off this conversation that led me to even say, oh my God, I think they're having bad business sex and they don't even know. And it was a metaphor because I was going onto somebody's website and I was looking for something. And I realized that they had a beautiful site and they were offering an incredible tool and resource, and they weren't collecting emails. Come on, entrepreneurs. I know you're with me here. They weren't collecting emails. So to me, that is a loss of revenue, opportunity, email list, connection, nurturing, you name it. Very dramatic of me. And my reaction was, oh my God, they are not collecting emails. They are giving this for free. They are not allowing their customers the opportunity to connect and be nurtured. They are missing out. And worst of all, they are not letting their ideal client, their client that's on their webpage, that's going through the trouble of going through this entire assessment, they're not offering the opportunity to learn more. So it's not just about you losing business. It's about the person you're meant to touch, the life you're meant to change, missing out on you. And it really hit home. And that's where this whole podcast theme came up, where I said, it's like having bad sex and they don't even know it. And it's a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. I just walked you through 10 different places in which people literally and figuratively have bad sex, whether it's in their life or in their business. But the thing is, here is the beauty. It doesn't have to be that way. If you work past the denial, if you go into realization, if you can learn more, if you stop settling, if you stop comparing, if you stop being fearful, if you figure out other ways to make it better, if you stop just settling for the fact that it's what you're used to, if you allow yourself the room to learn that maybe it's not supposed to be this way if it's not fulfilling to me anymore. And maybe if you realize that you don't just have to live off of the highs and the peaks of your business, that you can feel fulfilled more often. Because here's the truth. I know, because it was my journey, that you didn't go into your business and you didn't sacrifice everything you sacrificed to, at the end of the day, not feeling fulfilled. I know that there's something greater that pushed you to start this to begin with. So I will leave you with this final quote from a good friend who said, there's a big difference between optimism and ignorance. So I want you to be optimistic with the fact that your business can do better and that you can do better for others. I don't want you to deal or work through or stay in a place where ignorance lives and you settle for not being in the best place in your life, mentally, emotionally, physically, and most of all in your business. Because as entrepreneurs, we are a fabric of what we create. We are on internally 24 hours. And I'm going to walk you through how to shift that so you have some balance. But I promise you that not only does every human being in the world deserve to have good sex, every entrepreneur in this world deserves to have a business that they love, that they're proud of, and that fills them up and excites them. I want that for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited you tuned in. The best way to find out the second a new episode is released and receive all the valuable tools and actionable steps I share is to subscribe to the podcast. So make sure you do that. If there are any topics you'd like addressed, or if you have any burning questions you want answered, visit jammarietlc.com/podcast. And make sure to share this with any other entrepreneur friends that you know can benefit from learning the mindset it takes to create a business and life they truly love. And last but definitely not least, I would love your feedback. So leave a review and I'll make sure to share that love on a future podcast episode. Sending you so much love. Until next time.